Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. Roman Reigns mentioned his father for the first time since his tragic death on the latest episode of SmackDown and got emotional. He revealed what he had promised to his father. Reigns' father, Sika, died earlier this year. He was 79 years of age at the time of his passing. This combined with the fact that his uncle, Alpha, also died 2 months after Sika's passing. On SmackDown, Roman Reigns got emotional talking about his father to Solo Sikoa. When he said that he told his father that he would fix this, he visibly broke down and needed a second before carrying on as the camera cut away for a little bit too. Roman Reigns was very emotional while talking to Sikoa and practically begged him to set things aside and fix the issues that had come between them. The original tribal chief said that he wanted abundance and got emotional again, saying that he wanted paydays coming from the heavens after everything we've been through, everything we went through in the spring, everything we lost in the summer, and we stand here divided like this? Solo, I told my father that I could fix this. All I want to do is put us back in the promised land. I want titles around our waists, I want paydays coming from the heavens, I want abundance, I want our family to be priority. Tell me what I have to do to fix this. Sikoa would not accept it and even ignored the head of the table's acknowledgement, only to attack and destroy the latter once again. On an emotionally charged episode of WWE SmackDown, fans were left stunned as Roman Reigns, typically the stoic, dominant tribal chief, visibly broke down in the center of the ring, sharing a deeply personal promise he made to his late father, Sika, that had been weighing heavily on him for months. The show opened with the familiar sight of Reigns flanked by Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa, his usual confident aura exuding from every movement as he prepared to address the WWE Universe. The Bloodlines family saga had dominated WWE for over 2 years, with Roman's iron grip over his cousins and his position at the top of the company leading to countless betrayals, reconciliations, and moments of brutal dominance. But tonight was different. The tribal chief had teased a major announcement earlier in the week, promising that it would shake the foundation of SmackDown. Fans expected anything from a blockbuster match announcement to yet another vicious declaration of dominance. What no one expected, however, was the raw emotion that poured out from a man who had previously prided himself on keeping his emotions in check. Roman stood in the center of the ring, microphone in hand, looking out over the sea of faces. For a few moments, there was nothing but silence, a rarity in the often chaotic world of WWE. The crowd, sensing the weight of the moment, quieted in anticipation. Even Heyman, typically verbose in his praise of the tribal chief, stood solemnly at ringside, his expression uncharacteristically somber. I have spent the last 3 years at the top, Roman began, his voice steady but carrying an unmistakable undertone of sorrow. I've fought battles that most men wouldn't survive. I've defended this family, this bloodline, with everything I have. And I've done it all in the name of my legacy. He paused, his gaze dropping to the mat beneath his feet as if the words weighed too heavily on him to continue. The tension in the arena was palpable, and fans leaned in closer, hanging on to every word. But there's something I've never told any of you. Something I've kept hidden because I didn't think it mattered, until now. Roman's voice cracked slightly, and the WWE Universe collectively gasped. This was not the tribal chief they knew, the cold, calculating leader who crushed all challengers in his path. This was Roman Reigns, the man. The vulnerability in his voice was jarring, and even Solo Sikoa, normally a stone-faced enforcer, appeared taken aback by his cousin's demeanor. I made a promise to my father, Sika. Before he passed, he sat me down and he told me something I'll never forget. He looked me in the eye and said, "Son, you have to be better than me. You have to take this family further than I ever could." Roman paused again, the weight of his father's words hanging in the air. The crowd was silent, captivated by the rare glimpse into the personal side of a man who had become almost larger than life. And I swore to him, Roman continued, his voice trembling now. I swore I would make him proud. That I would take the Anoa I named to places no one ever thought possible. That I would make our family the most dominant force in this business. He wiped at his eyes, blinking rapidly as if fighting back tears. The camera zoomed in on his face, revealing the glistening wetness in his eyes. It was a moment of unfiltered humanity from someone who had built his entire persona on being untouchable. I thought I was doing it, Roman admitted, his voice breaking entirely now. I thought that by leading the bloodline, by holding this championship, by being the head of the table, I was honoring my father. But recently, I've started to question everything. The crowd murmured in confusion, unsure of where Roman was going with this. This was a side of Reigns no one had ever seen, doubt. The same man who had obliterated legends like Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and even his own family members to maintain his dominance was now questioning his path. Every betrayal, Roman said, his tone growing more pained. Every fight within my own family. Jay, Jimmy, Solo, it wasn't supposed to be like this. We were supposed to be stronger together. But instead, I've pushed everyone away. And now, I wonder if I've broken the promise I made to my father. Tears openly streamed down his face now, the tribal chief openly weeping in front of millions of fans. It was a surreal moment, watching the man who had been the face of WWE's most dominant faction crumble before their eyes. The same crowd that had booed and cheered his every move now watched in stunned silence as Roman Reigns, the unstoppable force, revealed the deep scars that had been festering inside him. I failed him, Roman whispered, shaking his head. I failed my father. The words hung in the air, and for a brief moment, it seemed as though Roman might drop the mic and walk out, leaving everything behind. But then, he straightened, his tears still flowing but his expression hardening with resolve. But I'm not done yet, he said, his voice steadying. This isn't the end of my story, and it's not the end of the bloodline. The crowd began to stir, murmurs turning into cheers as they sensed the shift in Roman's demeanor. I'm going to make things right, he declared, his voice growing stronger with each word. I'm going to fix what's broken in this family. I'm going to bring us back together, stronger than ever. And I'm going to do it for my father. I owe him that. The fans erupted into cheers, rallying behind the vulnerable yet determined tribal chief. Paul Heyman looked on with approval, while Solo Sikoa's usual stoic expression softened, clearly moved by Roman's emotional outpouring. Roman stood tall, his tears still visible but his confidence returning. This was no longer just about championships or dominance, this was about legacy, about family, and about honoring a father's final wish. As the camera zoomed in on Roman's face one last time, he looked directly into the lens, sending a clear message to his family, to his fans, and to the world: I'm not done. Not by a long shot. With that, he dropped the mic and left the ring, the weight of his promise driving him forward into an uncertain but hopeful future.